So we are live. We are live. Boomer start as always. We are live. We are live. What's up, guys? Yeah, managed to keep things on time tonight. I thought it was going to be a late start because I've just had like a lot of shit to deal with today. But it's pretty much on schedule. So happy with that. Just a quick look at the chat. Big T is in the chat. What's up, man? DJ's in the chat. Griffin's in the chat. Chris is in the chat. What's up, Chris? Yeah, got a few things. Apologies for last week's stream, which didn't happen, obviously, because basically somebody crashed into my car when I was on work. Parked my car up at work in the car park. Somebody reversed, smashed the front bumper, clean off. So this was last Tuesday. So last Tuesday was kind of spent trying to sort it out with the insurance company. And just, it was a bit of a nightmare last Tuesday. Wasn't really in the mood to do a live stream because just shit went on. And to be honest, to be fair, didn't really have that much to talk about last Tuesday. I don't really think there was that much. It was a pretty quiet week in terms of movie-wise and horror movie-wise. So, and I'd streamed the Friday as well with Chris doing the 1996 retrospective. So I'd streamed twice the previous week anyway, so it was kind of I'd done my fair share for the week. So, I didn't feel too bad about not streaming, but back to normal, back to normal schedule. Car sorted, car's getting scrapped, car's a complete fucking write-off. I'm just going to get rid of, I'm just going to pack in driving cars, basically. I'm just going to start walking to work, which I know walking to work and walking in general is an alien concept to Americans. But, in the UK, we do walk places, we do that sort of shit. I'm fortunate. I live close enough to work where I can walk to work and save a hell of a lot of money because petrol is just insanely expensive at the minute. So if I'm going to save some money, I'm going to do it. So fuck cars. I'm just going to go without a car for the next 6 to 12 months. And I'll probably end up going back to buying a car and just crying, wondering how I ever coped without one. But basically, I mean, cars are expensive to run. They really are. And petrol prices, gas prices, whatever you want to call it, at the minute is just insane. It really is. Jumping back into the chat, it's basically people saying hello to each other. Big T, Chris, everyone's in the chat. Has anybody new joined the chat? Anthony joined the chat. What's up, Anthony? Anthony, bit of a scorcher this weekend, hasn't it? Last 2 days. For anybody, obviously people who are DJ as well. I mean, even in Scotland, it's been pretty damn hot, man. In the UK today, yesterday, it's been insanely fucking hot. And I don't even, not even just by Americans, it's just been hot, period. Don't come at me with oh, it's 120 degrees in Texas, it's 110 degrees in Oklahoma. It was 101 degrees in London today, and I'm not in London, but I'm not, I'm only a couple of 100 miles away. It was 96, 97 degrees in Liverpool. This is not, we're not used to this sort of levels of heat in the UK. This is fucking insane, it's just fucking mental. And luckily it's good. The temperature is going to drop tomorrow, but my God, I have been sweating all day long. Oh my God. So I can't wait to get back to how you guys in the States cope with just day after day of endless heat. I'll never understand, because 2 days of extreme heat in this country that just kills me off. I just want to go back to normal temperatures. This is just too much for me. Anybody, I'm sure Anthony would be the same as me, and if Sean jumps on, or DJ, I'm sure DJ will, DJ's lived in Scotland. DJ must be used to shit weather all the time. But even in Scotland, it's like being fucking hot, you know. It's just insane. DJ. I'm going through the comments too quickly. DJ, let me just jump back. DJ says apparently the Halloween Ends trailer drops tomorrow. Yes, it does. And I'm a bit pissed off that it's going to drop tomorrow when I'm streaming tonight. But on the plus side, we did get the Jeepers Creepers Reborn trailer today, so I can react to that instead, because everybody wants to see a Jeepers Creepers Reborn trailer reaction. Obviously, everyone's just cannot wait for that film. Sarcasm mode. Apparently, Halloween Ends trailer drops tomorrow. It's leaked, apparently. I've seen like 5 seconds. Cody Leach kind of put a tweet out where he said he wasn't going to react to it, but he kind of almost did in a way, which was a bit weird. It's kind of leaked. I think a part of it leaked. You know, you can't put these things out and then to like a select group of people and then drop it to 24 hours later and not expect somebody to film it on the phone. So clearly something's dropped. Whether it's today, yesterday, I don't know, but clearly somebody's leaked something which is not meant to go live until tomorrow. But from what I saw, I'll wait until the official trailer drops tomorrow because it was very poor quality. I mean, it's probably going to be a teaser trailer anyway, so you're not really going to see that much, I don't think. Jessica's in the chat. What's up, Jessica? Jessica 2991. I'll just call you Jess, or maybe even Jess. Let's get a bit more personal. That accent was my doing, so I was well compensated. Chris says no Halloween trailer for me. I'm going to avoid. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. You know, I admire somebody who just stays off social media and just avoids all trailers. I wish I could do that. I'm just too much of like a social media whore, I suppose. I just can't stay away from it. Anthony says unbearable heat in the UK. Yeah, the UK is a cold country. It is usually, DJ, but tonight, my God, it's been hot today. Part of London on fire. Yeah, you see, Chris says, you know, upper 90s. Yeah, but it's been like that here. We've had upper 90s today. I mean, obviously you guys have it more than we have. But, you know, upper 90s for the last 2 days. I mean, it's like 90 where I was, 95, 96. London was 101, I think. I mean, we're not used to that sort of weather. You know, we just can't cope with that sort of shit. Old as fuck. Oh, new subscriber, old as fuck. Anybody in the chat, go along and subscribe to Old as Fuck Reviewers. British guys, bit like me, middle-aged guy. Well, middle-aged. I don't want to offend you guys, but you know, you're not kids. You know, get older than kids. You know, have a few drinks, do movie reviews. Really cool guys. So anybody in the chat who's not subscribed to Old as Fuck Reviewers, go along and lead them to subscribe because they are cool guys. I can't remember who it was, but I just kind of got introduced to a load of like English YouTubers in the last 4 or 5 days who I had no awareness of, and all of a sudden I've just been like, you know, binge watching a load of like, you know, these English YouTubers who do something similar to like what I do. Yet we're in our 40s. Yeah. Guys just like me, you know what I mean? Just like, you know, I'm not going to offend you by saying technically inept because that's what I am, but you kind of like, it's not polished. If that's not, I don't mean to be offensive, but it's what you do. It's not a polished channel. It's kind of like rough and ready, which is what I do, and I like that. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just someone. I've said numerous times. I'm just someone who just like knows basically how to just about now to set up a laptop with a webcam and just chat shit into a webcam for like an hour or 2 a week. You know, I'd like to get a bit more professional, but you know, maybe in the future. But it's just watching you guys when you did your Rock review. I mean, I think that was basically I just subscribed to you like that day, and I just clicked on the first video you uploaded, or the latest one, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is fucking funny. You know, there's just like a couple of like normal English guys, a couple of drinks, you know, and just chatting shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm fucking well on board for this, man. Fucking hell, this is the sort of shit I enjoy. So yeah, it's good to have you on board, man. I mean, if I apologize for the late start, but you know, this is who I, you know, most of the people that I sort of live stream to are like on the east coast of the States. You know, this is where I kind of like found my sort of feet. This is where I kind of got involved, and you know, I enjoyed live streaming at midnight. You know, I do enjoy live streaming late on because I just feel like, you know, I don't like to, I could not live stream like completely sober. So, you know, what I tend to do Tuesday night, get a few drinks in, order a pizza, you know, a few bottles of lager, get a bottle of wine in, down that, down the booze, get a Domino's in, get a Papa John's in, whatever, and then get on YouTube and just chat shit. So that sounds like your kind of thing, guys. You know, make it a regular thing every Tuesday night. You know, shameless plug. Um, but I haven't even fucking started talking about what I want to talk about yet. So, okay, let's time to get on topic. I'll stay away from the chat just briefly. So basically, yeah, the Black Phone, which is what I want to talk about first. The Black Phone. Watched it. I didn't watch it. I know it's just dropped on streaming. I actually watched it in cinema. It actually, local cinema to me does like early morning screenings for films which are just about to go off the kind of radar in terms of like, you know, cinema releases. So and they air it for like ridiculously cheap. You know, like for like £4. Like early morning screenings, like it was like 11 o'clock. So yeah, watched the Black Phone last Friday, 11 o'clock screening in the morning. Yeah, for £4, or you know, $4, $5, whatever you call it in the States. And I was really disappointed, really disappointed in the Black Phone. I thought I was going to really enjoy this film, and I was like really disappointed. I think this film was fucking dog shit. I mean, I really did not like this film. Um, Plus points, I think they got the aesthetic. I mean, okay, I mean, I criticised in a live stream, I think Jay the Stingray or Hayden was live streaming this morning, and I just made the comment about how Denver looks like a complete shithole based on the Black Phone. Now, I'm being unfair. Apparently, it was filmed in Southern Alabama, so maybe Southern Alabama, part of Southern Alabama, a bit of a shithole. But yeah, I mean, they did a good job of making Denver in 1978 look like a really grim place, because it's just the greyest film I've ever seen. My God, it's like freaking China. Jesus, so grey. Fucking hell. It's like, you know, I like realism in movies, and, you know, I'm all on board for that. But, you know, oh man, move the film to California, because give me a bit of colour. Jesus Christ. It just, the film depressed me. From the colour scheme depressed me. So grim looking, so bare bones. Ethan Hawke's character just offered nothing to me. I didn't understand what his motives were, like why he did what he did. The mask for me was just looked a bit like hokey. The sister, who was just like, you know, like, it's like, what is it now with like with like, you know, it's a bit like Stranger Things with Jacob's sister, who's just like a badass, annoying younger sister who's like really tough. They did the same thing with this sister. It was like, yeah, she's a tough. She's not like a young. She's like a tough girl. She's like she can beat your ass, and she's very annoying as well. It's like just annoying younger sister. Check. Alice Stranger Things. Just plot wise, supernatural angle. Why did you? There's just was no need for a supernatural angle in this film. this film would have made a lot more sense with any supernatural angle. You could have made a really, really solid Blum film with this. Oh, Dan's in the chat. I've seen Dan for a while. Darren, what's up, man? Hi, Meg. I didn't like Black Phone. That twist near the end. I was like, yeah. I thought Black Phone. Most people do seem to have a problem with this film. Yeah, it's just going back to the whole supernatural angle was just completely needless, in my opinion. You could have made a really, really good film without adding a phone, and a sister who dreams shit. Fuck off! You don't need this stuff in a movie. And then you've got the Stephen King homage ripoff. Not quite sure what it was. It did feel like, is it an homage? Is it a ripoff? I'm not entirely sure. It's Blumhouse, so it's probably a ripoff. I don't know. But yeah, The Black Phone was just a massive, massive disappointment for me. I just thought this film was just so average. I mean, just the certain little things. It's like, kids getting beaten to within an inch of their lives. And it's just like, I mean, that was the 70s, but my God, I mean, it's just like, yeah, let's just go back to class. Oh, and I've just been beaten nearly half to death, but I've got 0 cuts on my face, or very, very minor cuts. You were nearly killed in the playground, but half an hour later, you're just in class. I mean, what the fuck, man? So, I mean, I'm picking, I'm making little points here which may be needless going forward. I mean, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Black Phone, if you like that sort of thing, more power to you. For me, it was a fucking pile of fucking shite. And Blumhouse, they do some good stuff, and they do some stuff that I don't particularly like, and I would like to say they're doing the Lord's work, but they're not really not doing the Lord's work. They are doing a lot of fucking shit. But yeah, at least, fair play, at least they're doing something. I mean, I can't complain too much. I mean, going back to my last live stream with me and Chris, slash a home video, when we discussed 1996, at least we're getting horror films now in 2022. I mean, when we discussed 1996, yeah, I mean, go back and watch that live stream. We didn't even discuss any horror apart from Scream and some god awful Hellraiser sequel. So that gives you an idea now. We've come a long way from 1986, but Blumhouse, come on, you can do better. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on The Black Phone. I don't really want to discuss it anymore because it just depressed me, that film. It just wasn't my cup of tea at all. So moving away from so where are we next now? Okay, Russo Brothers. This one sticks in my craw slightly. Russo Brothers. And before I go on to the Russo Brothers talking about cinemas, let me just go back to the live chat. Horror fiction writers are losing their shit over The Black Phone. Old as fuck. The chat, for some reason, when I click on it, it's taken ages to transfer over. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if it's my computer or it's StreamYard is just playing up. But hopefully it's not affecting you guys too much. Chris says our lawn died from the heat and lack of rain last month. Starting to go back again. Yeah, I mean it's like that here. I mean it's starting to look less like a green country, which England tends to look very green, with the field is starting to look very much bare, very much scorched earth. Big T said definitely the most overrated movie of the year. Well, yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Griffin says, oh my God, this StreamYard is really getting on my nerves. I'm clicking on the link and it's not I think the easy thing to do is just to read the comments and not click on them. So don't be offended if I don't. If you know, I'll read the comment, but I won't click on it because it seems to be very slow. Chris says the OG raised it as Stephen's son, so that makes it an homage. Darren says the supernatural angle was stupid. I agree. Chris says it never caught my interest. I'll probably watch it eventually in a rush. Okay, so I think I've caught up with the chat now. So onto the Russo brothers. So if anyone's not aware, the Russo brothers, obviously the Russo brothers directed Endgame, Infinity War, and the Captain America movies. They've basically come out and said that the cinema experience is, it's almost like they basically kind of like said it's like an elitist experience. So they basically gone along the lines of like Netflix is for the common man, the common woman, for the common good. And, you know, watching a movie in a cinema is maybe that it kind of like, you know, from what I can gather from what they're trying to say is like that they're going along the lines of it's like the cinema experience is like the upper classes almost. You know, it's like this is like it's too expensive, and the common man, common woman can't. I'll just say common man. I can't. I'm not trying to be all politically correct. I can't be bothered. It's common man. Sorry, any women in the chat, but not that there is any. James not here yet. So they're going along the line of basically that, you know, it's cinemas are too expensive nowadays and Netflix is the way forward. It's an elitist experience, you know, going to a cinema and paying, you know, 15, 20 pounds to watch a movie. It's not that expensive. It's really not. Not if you know where to go. I mean, I don't know where they're going to watch films. I mean, they don't even have to pay, so I don't know what their experience is. But I mean, I kind of half see where they're coming from in terms of like it is expensive to go to cinema. I'm not going to lie, it can be expensive. It can also be, you know, reasonably cheap if you know what time to go. But if you wanted to see a movie, if you wanted to see like one of their movies, like Endgame, a peak time when it dropped, okay, you're going to be paying, you know, in the UK anyway, you're going to be paying like £11. In the States, I'm guessing you'd be paying similar levels of money, whatever £11 equates to in dollars. Plus, you've got food, drink. I mean, just smuggle it in. I mean, I don't condone it, but I do it sometimes. I mean, if it's a movie I really want to see, I will make the efforts to like pay for the ticket and buy food and drink. But if it's just some film I'm really not that interested in, but I need to see it because it's kind of like something that's on my radar, and it's early morning as well. You know, if you know, I'm not paying to like buy popcorn and fucking Diet Coke at like 11:30 in the morning. I've just had breakfast, so I don't feel too bad about not buying food and drink. But you know, I'm not gonna lie. There's been times when I have just like taken in food, my own food and drink, just to keep the money levels down. Because fucking hell, I mean, like it's, you know, if I'm going with my son to watch like Endgame, case in point, which is a film that everybody needs to see on the cinema, Russo brothers, which is saying cinema is pointless now, almost. You know, it was a case of, and it's a 3-hour film. So, you know, we and it was, it's, you know, it's an event. So we did go, we did pay our prices. He got on a student ticket, which is like a couple of pounds cheaper. I paid like £10.99 maybe. He paid like £8.99. So you're already talking like 20 odd pounds plus 2 big bags of popcorn plus 2 large Cokes, and you're talking nearly £30. So yeah, it's not cheap. I get where they're coming from. They're partly responsible for that. They directed the film I went to see. Now they've moved to Netflix and they're doing Netflix exclusives. Maybe that's why they're suddenly starting to bash cinema experiences. But in terms of like, you know, I mean, personally, as expensive as a cinema experience can be, you can't replace that experience. You know, anybody here who's watching, anybody watches down the line has been to a cinema. Anybody who's been to a cinema, there is a movie that they'll have a story to tell about their favorite film they've ever seen, and 9 times out of 10 it'll probably be a cinema release because it's a film they saw as a kid or someone who's young adult that meant that much to them, and more than likely it was that cinema release that gave them that buzz. It's something you can't recreate on a small screen. I don't care if you got like a 65, 75-inch TV screen at home with surround sound. You can't recreate that experience of like the cinema. Just walking into the foyer with the smell of popcorn, buying your drinks, getting your tickets, going to finding your seat. It's all part of like the big screen experience, and it's something after COVID. It's like it almost feels like something else they want to just erase. During COVID, you can't go to the cinema. You've got to like just forget the cinema. Netflix, consume Amazon Prime, just consume, sit in your room and consume media, consume YouTube, consume all this, and don't go out, don't see anyone, and don't have any contact with anyone. Fuck that. Just no. Cinemas are going to stay. The cinemas need to stick around. And Russo brothers, I don't know, maybe your heart's in the right place, but you know what? Go fuck yourselves, because cinemas are going to stick around whether you like it or not, because nobody's abandoning cinemas anytime soon. Okay, it's not physical media because obviously you go there, you come away, you don't take anything away physically, but it's arguably just as important because the memories you get from that you don't get from just sitting in front of a TV screen and watching a Netflix exclusive. Okay, everybody's got their own stories, and guys, in the comments below, just in the live stream, in the chat, just give me an example of like the favorite film you saw as a kid growing up, or just as an adult, your favorite movie you saw on the big screen that you couldn't recreate, at home, just because everybody must have a story. My story for me, like growing up, is like Terminator 2, 1991. I might have already told the story on the live stream. I don't know. I don't really care. I'll just tell it again. 1991. I hope I didn't tell it last week. Probably shouldn't drink before a live stream because I do tend to forget what the fuck I'm saying. But, in terms of like going to cinema, 1991, Terminator 2, one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah, going to see that film in the summer of 91 as a 14-year-old, not old enough to get into the cinema because it was a 15 certificate film, but I managed to pass because I must have looked 15. And just watching that movie with a friend and being blown away and just coming out the cinema, and it was like a hot summer's day and just coming out. And when you come out of a film and you're just buzzing, your mind's just wired. It's like you're on drugs or something, and you just come out and you feel like you can take on the world. It's weird. It's just like when you see a film like that, it's such a strange feeling. And then going back to school the next day and telling everyone not the next day because it was the summer holidays, but I think I did tell the story the other week. Anyway, who fucking cares? Terminator 2, cinema. You can't recreate that feeling for me on fucking Netflix. Fuck Netflix. Okay? Russo brothers. We're not going to convert to Netflix exclusively. We're always going to go to the cinema. Fuck off. Sean says Jurassic Park. I remember seeing that. Yes, Jurassic Park is a big one. See, this is the thing. It's like Sean's nailed it there in a way because it's like a movie like Jurassic Park. It's like an event movie, and the Russo brothers have had event movies as well, which is the way they've gone with this is all the more strange. He does love Netflix as well, Sean. I get it. You can love Netflix. You can love Netflix. I understand, Sean. I like Netflix, but I don't love Netflix to the point where I'd never want to see a cinema release for like just a film I adore. And that's the problem, I suppose, is because in hindsight, you love Jurassic Park, you love Terminator 2, But in the future, if these films never get released on the cinema, you'll know you loved them from watching them on a streaming service. But how would you know that you loved it on the cinema? Because if the cinema option is no longer there, then that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, well, you won't know because you never saw it on the cinema. So it's important that we need to keep cinemas going. We need in any shape or form. I don't think cinemas are going anywhere soon. To be fair, I mean, I think with the erasure of like physical media, I actually think cinemas are probably maybe more likely to become less cancelable, if that's even a word. I'm not entirely sure. But if you know what I mean, it's like if physical media just becomes less and less of a thing, cinemas might actually become more popular because it's kind of like that last, sort of clinging on to like that age old idea of watching a movie in real form rather than just like it coming through a computer. But yeah, Russo brothers can go fuck off. Yeah, fuck off, Russo brothers. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Russo brothers rant over. Let me just quickly jump back into the chat again. Chris says, listen, I'm just going to have to basically just, if I'm clicking on comments, it's taking so long changing over. So literally, I am just going to basically read the comments because I clicked on Chris's comment and it's not even changing over to it. I don't know if this is like, it's so slow. I mean, it's taking literally 10 seconds. So I'm just going to read comments basically. So Chris says, everything else I pick up and drop. The only service I keep is Shudder, and I'm about to stop that, to be honest with you. I do like Shudder. I mean, I do think Shudder is kind of one of those services where you just binge watch it for like a month and then just abandon it like for 6 months. You can come back 6 months later and you can basically watch pretty much what they've got to offer in like about 2 days, if that, and then just abandon it again. They've got there's a lot of filler on there as well. Yeah, Sean says obviously he loves Netflix, but he likes watching Jurassic Park in the cinema. Chris lives in the woods, apparently. Creepy. Ben says I have 6 theatres and 20 minutes drive. Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, yeah, I'm probably similar to you, Ben. I probably have like a similar amount, which is good. But you've got to think about people who live more rurally. What are they going to do if they do get rid of just that one cinema where they live? If somebody lives like in a rural area and they've got one cinema and it's like a half an hour drive and that goes, and then like they've got to like drive like a 3 hour drive. I'm talking about the States really here, but I mean, that's not good. It's just unfair. Creepshow getting a season 4 I've not even watched season 2 yet. I'm so behind on Creepshow. I mean, on Child's Play 2 is Child's Play season 2 is getting released at the end of the year as well, which I won't cover tonight. But you scared the wood folk, Mike? Woods are just scary to me. The woods, anything to do with the woods. I've seen enough horror films and I've got woods and not safe places. Sean says Independence Day was not. Yes, yeah. So there's 2 massive ones from the 90s. Independence Day. Sean, we just covered Independence Day on were you in the live stream for me and Chris's live stream? And the other Friday we talked about Independence Day a fair bit. Yeah, but Independence Day and obviously Jurassic Park, they were like 2 of the big films in the 90s, which were like just massive films, which you can't put them on a streaming service without a cinema release. You just can't do that. So I think I've made my way through the chat. Okay, on to Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 dropping at the end of the year, and it's going to be over 2 hours long. Thought in the chat, for me, that seems like commercial suicide to me. A 2 hour Terrifier movie, really? I mean, bigger budget, okay, I'm all down for a bigger budget. The original Terrifier movie was very, very small budget and kind of impacted it for me a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of Terrifier, in all fairness. I think it's got some good kills, but just the acting and just the budget of the film put me off a little bit. But apparently, bigger budget for season two, for the second film, sorry. But a 2 hour Terrifier film, I mean, really, what are they thinking? Two, a 2 hour film for Terrifier is that just sounds like the most insane thing I've ever heard. I'm not down for that whatsoever. So I don't know what you guys think. I mean, I'm let's see. Ben says happy with Terrifier 2 Halloween ends. Yeah, I mean, it's coming out similar time, so you probably will see it before it anyway. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Terrifier. To be fair, I mean, I just one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys is, it's like, Art the Clown is kind of like almost like a bad guy we could do with, an iconic villain we could do with going forward into the late 2020s, 2030s. We're so done now with, Freddie, Michael, and Jason. As much as I want them to continue, people always complain about no new horror icons. Art the Clown is kind of like has that potential to be like a horror icon going forward. But is he too? Did they drop the ball and by making him too extreme in the first film? I mean, I could almost see, like, a film company making a reboot and bringing Art the Clown back and making a lot more like not PC, but a lot less near the edge in terms of violence, and just like bringing in him as a new, like, bad guy. But this version of Art the Clown is like too out there. No mainstream film company is going to be like sort of like on board with, like, taking a woman and just like sewing her, like, where I'm going with this. So it's like, but I do think there's potential for like Art the Clown as a bad guy with a mainstream audience. But I just don't think you can do Art the Clown with a mainstream audience with what has gone before and what is probably going to happen in the next film, because we do need like somebody new. We really do need somebody new. People are threatened to be like the new big bad guy. We've had, I mean, Jigsaw was the last one, but he was kind of not really, it was not really a bad guy per se, was he? And obviously he dies, and then it's just, we saw it's a very complicated thing. I mean, in terms of like just one man with a mask or without a mask, it doesn't really matter, who can just create terror and create a franchise going forward. I mean, Art the Clown is a kind of guy who you could put money on, but maybe with less of an extreme element to him. And if he'd never gone down the route of the first film, and I know it goes back to, the short story of him from, was it All Hallows Eve? What was the film he was in before that? But if he avoided Terrifier and maybe brought him in, maybe it's a bit more family friendly to a point, could he have been like the next big horror icon? I just don't see it in this role. It's just too far gone for too many people. But Terrifier 2 drops at the end of the year, so it's if you like that sort of thing, which I don't mind, I'm not the biggest fan. More power to you. Okay, Terrifier 2 is done. Let's move on to Scream 6. Neve Campbell is not coming back, apparently. Apparently, from what I've read, she's, there's all these rumours about Neve Campbell coming back. It doesn't look like she's coming back. From what I can read, it's like she's pretty adamant that she's got no intention of coming back. Now, I've not got the biggest problem with that. I mean, I prefer. I mean, I would prefer to come back, to be fair, because it's just that continuity. If they're going to call it Scream 6, which whether they are, I don't know. But if Courtney Cox is coming back playing Gale, then the continuity is there. So it's the same timeline. So Neve Campbell, she'd have to be her non-appearance would have to be explained in some way. I mean, it's easily done, but it's, it does, previous 5 films, she's always been like part 6. Like, well, no, she can't come this time because she's what's she doing? In part 5, every film before, she's always been available to turn up and deal with the situation. Now, apparently, this is going to be set in New York, which is just really, really odd choice for me, because I don't know how you're going to create any sort of tension in New York. I mean, but they say New York City. Now, New York's a big place, so you could go to some sort of remote part of the city and just like do a Woodsboro style setting. But when they say New York City, you do kind of think Fifth Avenue, Times Square. You do kind of think Jason Takes Manhattan. So just by mentioning New York, you do kind of think towards like that sort of big city setup, with like high rises and skyscrapers. And if they're going to go down that route, how do you do a Scream film in that sort of scenario when Woodsboro and the other locations they've used in the past have been small town, plenty of places to hide, plenty of places to disappear into? You can't really do that in the middle of Manhattan. Plus, obviously, what was revealed obviously a couple of days ago is that Samara Weaving is on board, and the guy from the Spider-Man franchise, whose name escapes me, he's just basically the guy who's always, I think it's the Indian guy who's always there cracking jokes. He's kind of like the, plays off Peter Parker in every film. He's in it, and so Samara Weaving. I'm all down for Samara Weaving. I don't mind him being on board. I mean, Samara Weaving, yeah, absolutely. Love Samara Weaving. Love her in The Babysitter. Love her in Is It Ready or Not? I mean, I think she's a good actress. I mean, she's kind of got those Scream Queen chops about her. I mean, she's done the business in more than one of these films, and I have no idea what the plot is going to be. I mean, I've just looked, a couple of the horror websites. It's still very scarce information, but I mean, New York City for Scream film. Jamie's in the chat. What's up, Jamie? I would highlight you. Well, I'll try and highlight you, but say StreamYard doesn't seem to want me to highlight comments very well at all. So, like I said, I will probably just carry on reading the comments. Annie says it's mainly just mate. So I'm going to go right back to the comments because I'm totally out of the loop in what people have been saying. Okay, so let me catch up to where I was up to. Yeah, so Creepshow getting a season 4 on Shudder, which, yeah, I mean, I've seen, like I said, I've seen season 1 and season 2. I think I might have seen part of season 2. Shudder just drops stuff, which is like of a decent standard, and I'm never even aware of it because I just unsubscribed Shudder when I've checked out of what they've got to offer, and then I'll disappear for a few months, and then it turns out they've just dropped a load of new stuff, and I'm like, that's actually stuff I really want to see. But yes, I need to resubscribe to Shudder and check out what they've got going. Griffin says I rarely go to the cinema anymore. I have a nice high-end TV and surround sound setup. On Christ, and disappear. Boo, Griffin. I don't that's not the opinion I wanted to hear. I understand, but no, come on. Support the cinema, man. Come on. Griffin, take your favourite film of all time. Take your favourite film of all time. Or back to when you were kids, your favourite movie experience, and then imagine taking that experience away from a young kid. It's it's not the same on a high-end TV with a surround sound system. It's just not. Chris says, keep showing show about why keep sure that I mean watching it must humility. Ben says Godzilla 90s. Will says Will Smith at something is walking away. Exactly. Ben says I'll probably watch Terrified 2 or Halloween Ends. Chris says he's up north from us, Anthony. We have Panthers. That's a reference I probably didn't get in the conversation. Griffin says I haven't seen Terrified and have zero interest in Vision. Yeah, it's not for everyone to taste, Terrifier. It's really not. The Frighteners is another 90s film. Yeah, The Frighteners is a great movie. It always like flies under the radar, I think. We didn't even, I think that might have been, was The Frighteners, was that 96? Did we not even talk about that, Chris, in our stream? Is The Frighteners 96? Because I forgot to mention that film. Chris says, it's mainly just an urban legend. I've never seen one. Just once in a blue moon, he's somebody claim one, got to the garage. Oh, is it like Jaguars? Yeah, part of America, man. Like grizzly bears and brown bears and all that shit. Fuck that, man. Snakes, Jesus. The most dangerous thing we have in the UK is like probably illegal dogs. Like people who've got dogs which are not like legal, like American Pit Bull Terriers. There's probably no animal that can kill a man in the UK apart from like an illegal dog, and they have killed men. Neve should be bulletproof story-wise. She needs to stop on a colour crops up. If Neve is an old broad, does that mean me? I'm antique. No, you're not old. You're not old, Jamie. I think you might be the same age as Neve. I think Neve's. I think you're 49, right? I think Neve is 49 as well, or is she 48? She's older than me. I'm 45. I know Neve's older than me. I'm sure she is. Okay, let's carry on with what we're going on to next. Okay, Jeepers Creepers Reborn trailer dropped tonight. Have you seen the trailer? Who's seen Jeepers Creepers Reborn trailer? It looks interesting. It looks interesting. It looks like they've gone down a different route. They're definitely going for the escape room 3 aesthetic, because this just looks like an escape room movie. And I'm down with that because I like the escape room films. But let me just, let it be clear, a lot of escape room films, the official, how do I describe this? The proper escape room films. Like, I think the sequel is called Tournament of Champions. There's a lot of cheap rip-offs, but I like the proper 2 escape room films. I think they're a lot of fun. I like them. And if they want to go down this route for like a Jeepers Creepers film, I'll just do it. Take my money, because I really don't want to see another Jeepers Creepers film with trying to rip off the original film, because you're not going to do that. The original film is just a classic. 2 is just like some sort of weird homoerotic Victor Salva wet dream with lots of like naked young men. Yeah, I'm not down with that one. I don't mind the film, but it's just, I watched that film knowing what I know about Victor Salva now. It kind of gives me like sort of bad vibes. Jeepers Creepers 1, the original, you don't really get that. You don't really get his pedo pervy ways from watching the film. In 2, it's so on point. I've not even seen Jeepers Creepers 3. I'll never watch that film. But this Reborn shit, put me in an escape room, I'm down with that. I don't mind. I mean, I'll watch it on streaming. I'm certainly not going to like be if they show this on the cinema. This is not the sort of film that's the sort of cinema release I'm aiming for, in terms of like keeping cinemas alive. No chance. But yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. It's like, if you guys have seen the trailer, let me know what you think in the comments. I just think it is what it is. It's Jeepers Creepers movie. It's 2022, 2023. The fact that we're getting a Jeepers Creepers film 22 years after the original says something. I will say, Jeepers Creepers 1, going into that movie with any prior knowledge of Victor Salva's like pedo tendencies, and even knowing there's pedo tendencies. Jeepers Creepers 1 is one of the greatest horror films of the 2010s. Oh, no, not 2010, 2000s, sorry. Just one of the greatest horror films of the 21st century. I fucking adore that film. You know, just the opening scene, just with the truck coming up behind them, iconic. The whole throwing a body down the well, whatever you call it, and they just look past them, they see him, and he turns and looks at them. Those two scenes are just gold. Slasher movie gold. I mean, they're up there with, like, you know, some of the best scenes from Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th. They're just so good, man. You know, Piz is in the chat. What's up, Piz? I'll try and highlight you, but, you know, I say this StreamYard is really being very, very strange tonight. But yeah, I mean, like I say, yeah, Jeepers Creepers opening 30 minutes of that film are just they're like next level fucking shit in terms of like 2010s, 2000s horror. You know, it's just, yeah, it's so fucking good, man. It's so good. I can't describe it. And, you know, going into that without any prior knowledge of Victor Salva, and fuck it, you know, with the knowledge of him, it doesn't alter. You can separate art from the artist. You can do that, because if anyone says they can't separate art from the artist, if you're watching the film and you're thinking this is fucking good, but you know that the person who did it is a bit of a fuck up, a bit of a nasty piece of work, if you're enjoying it, you've already separated the art from the artist. You know, you've already done that just by just looking at it and going, this is fucking good. So yeah, I mean, Jeepers Creepers, man. Jeepers Creepers, so damn good. Definitely. I mean, what more can I say? Victor Salva outdid himself. As much as I hate to admit it. But yeah, Victor, thanks, man. No thanks for anything else you did in life, but, you know, thanks for making that film. Moving on. Fanny, what were we going to talk about? Okay. I'm going to start wrapping things up now. I've been going for like nearly an hour. So me and Chris did a 1996 live stream about pop culture of the 1990s, well, 1996 specifically, a couple of weeks ago. It's done really well as well. It's got nearly 100 views on my channel, which for my channel is that's good. You know, it's clearly resonated with some people outside my subscriber base. So middle of August, we're going to be doing a 1993 pop culture celebration, talking about, you know, movies and TV shows, video games, shit like that. But I've got a bit of a blank spot when it comes to 1993 in terms of, like, you know, some of the more obscure movies, because I took a big drop off when it came to, like, 1993. Is not like a year that I was like watching a lot of movies, because it was a bit of a wasteland when it comes to like horror films, especially. You know, Jason Goes to Hell. I mean, there was very little about in 1993, so I kind of like moved away from like watching horror movies at that time. But obviously, there was a lot of stuff getting released straight to video. You know, some of this more obscure stuff. And I've seen some of it, but I'm sure there's a lot of movies from '93 that I've never seen. And Chris can throw in with some of his comments as well, because obviously he's going to want to talk about some of these films. But, you know, just, you know, I've seen, I'm trying to go back and watch to get ready for the stream. I'm going back and watching some of the stuff I've watched in the past. I watched Carlito's Way today with Al Pacino, obviously great film. Obviously, I'm going to go back and watch Jason Goes to Hell. Obviously, the most obvious horror film in '93. But I know that in the early 90s, there was like a load like cyborg movies and cyborg cop movies and, you know, samurai movies, all this crazy shit. And I just want to kind of like get up to speed with like what was big at '93, away from like the mainstream, because obviously I'll talk about Demolition Man and, you know, Jurassic Park, but, you know, people in the chat and just, you know, subsequently anyone watching the live stream on repeat, just if you can recommend some 19 films from '93 that I may not have seen. I think did the Mangler come out in '93? Because I remember watching that back in the day. I'm sure that's a '93 movie. or is it? I'm sure it's around them times. Army of Darkness might have been 93, Jamie. Yeah, I think that may have been. Maniac Cop 3, I'm definitely going to have to rewatch Maniac Cop 3 if that's 93, because that's essential viewing. I'd love Psycho Cop Returns to be 93, but I think that might be 91. Dark Half, oh yeah, Dark Half is definitely 93. Striking Distance, which I went to see in the cinema, Bruce Willis, love that film. It's not great, but I fucking love it because it's one of those. It's the first 18 certificate film I saw in the cinema. So it's like in the UK, you've got to be 18 to watch an 18 rated film, and it should never been an 18 rated film. It should have been a 15. But in the 90s, they were a bit more strict with like the ratings. But yeah, I've got a lot of just nostalgia for that movie alone because of the fact that it was the first 18 rated film I've seen. So definitely want to talk about Striking Distance. But yeah, anyone you can just throw down some 93 films. Dan, man, you just turn it up. Just I'm about to log off because I've been going for like nearly an hour and I've kind of like Dan. Before I go, I'll throw out some recommendations for 1993 movies to talk about. Me and Chris are doing a live stream in a couple of weeks talking 1993 movies and other pop culture. And I've been looking for recommendations for 1993 movies to talk about. So, if you throw a few out before I go, because I am going to log off in the next like 10 minutes because it is just like, it's getting late and I need to go to bed. But I'll just jump back in the chat briefly. Piz says, why is this taking so long to change over? Piz says Jeepers Creepers 1 was great. The sequel was disgusting. I'm actually doing part 3 soon. Oh, I'll look forward to that, Piz. Just having Piz in the chat, man. It's just so good. I mean, it's just like the fact that someone with like 50,000 subs takes the time out to go on like a little old YouTuber channel with like 80 subs is just respect to Piz. But that sort of sums up this community, doesn't it, really? Because, this community is kind of like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, man. It's like, the chat's been consistent tonight, like 11, 12 people, all commenting. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anyone in this community goes online, does a live stream. There's always a hardcore fan base who will just go on and like just in the chat constantly talking to each other, talking to the whoever's doing the stream. You don't get that with other channels. I mean, I've noticed, and I've said it before, it's like I've been on live streams with channels with like 1,000, 2,000 subs, and they've got 2 people in the chat, and I'm like, how is that even possible? It's like all the live streams I go on in this community, everybody who's got like more my level of subscribers or like more from like 80 to 800 to 1,000. There's always like 11, 12, 13, 14, 30, 40 people. Obviously, when you get to Piz's level, you're talking like a couple of hundred. But at that level of kind of like people who are like kind of like in the 1,000 to like 100 to 50, it doesn't matter. There's always a hardcore community who just constantly in the chat, always in the conversation. You know what I mean? And it's just a good thing to see. And it's and it's you guys, you guys are just absolute legends. Jamie, I'm just gonna like just call you guys out because obviously Dan's here every week. Anthony's here every week. Darren, Jamie. If I'm missing anyone out, I apologise. Jessica is a new subscriber. She's always here. Chris, obviously. Big Crack Rock just turns up as I say that. Big Crack Rock. Obviously Piz will jump on. Piz doesn't need to jump on. Piz is just like a massive YouTuber now, and he jumps on. Lorne obviously jumps on. He's got like a big YouTube channel now. Ben jumps on. I'm just Sean. I'm just reeling names off now. But you guys know who you are. It's like everybody just jumps on. And what the time of day is, there's always going to be someone jumping on, and it's just testament to you guys, you know, because you're always there. And that's all I want to say, really. I just, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, without you guys, this channel would just be nothing. So I wouldn't go live every Tuesday night. You know what I mean? And you know, I wouldn't have met Chris. You know, like met Chris now. Chris is like a mate of mine now. He's just, you know, I talk to him. I talk to Griff. Talk to Piz, Lorne, friends. You know, like not just like internet friends. I mean, I genuinely consider these people friends. You know what I mean? I spoke to them. I don't need to speak to them physically. I can speak to them through a computer, and they resonate on my level and what they like. So they're friends. You know what I mean? I consider them more friends than people I work with every day who have got nothing in common with. You know, so it's like you guys. You know, it's that. I mean, that's how I feel. I'm sure you feel the same way. So yeah, okay. I'm just going to wrap things up now. I've got a bit emotional now. I don't want people to start crying. So anyway, I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna log off now, guys. I will be live next Tuesday with maybe a slightly shortened show because like it's Piz's Patreon stream at 1 a.m. UK time, so I'll be jumping on that more than likely. This Friday, I'm going to be on Jake's channel, Slaughterport, to talk with him. You know, just talking random shit. I think just talking horror stuff. And that's going to be Slaughterport's channel at midnight UK time, 7 p.m. Eastern, I think. And then I think the following night it's going to be Chris from Slasher Home Video. He's going to be on Jake's channel at the same time. So check that out. I'm sure you guys are all subscribed to Jake anyway. So yeah, I'll be live Friday night. Just remind me because I may forget. Anyway, guys, thank you a lot. I'm going to bed. Legends, love you all. I'll see you later. Bye.